The daughter-in-law suddenly rushed into her father-in-law's room holding 2 kitchen knives. She lifted his blanket in front of her mother-in-law and husband, who were both shocked. Then she swung the knives down on him again and again. The mother-in-law never expected this woman who betrayed her son to be this vicious. She immediately ordered people to seize her and punish her by family rules, but no one dared to step forward. While the mother-in-law was at a loss, the daughter-in-law suddenly put down the knives and acted oddly respectful. She claimed the father-in-law would be lively again soon. The mother-in-law refused to believe it. She insisted that only that extremely ugly female leader could cure her husband. She then prepared to hand the daughter-in-law to the police for attempted murder. She had no idea the daughter-in-law before her was that same ugly female leader. She had been betrayed and ambushed by her apprentice. She took revenge before dying, yet when she woke she had crossed into the body of a stunning beauty. Knowing how ugly she once was, she never expected to attract a thug. She not only drew a thug but also a disabled handsome man. While she stared at him dazed by his looks, he blurted out a name that made her realize she had been reborn. She recalled the original woman was blind in both eyes and heart. On her wedding day, the groom ran off with an older woman. In anger, she married the groom's older brother. After marrying, she betrayed him and kept clinging to her ex-fiancé. She even forced her husband to transfer his shares to his brother. It was the first time since marriage that the man refused her demand. Then she caught the attention of a thug and lost her life. But her body was now taken over by a female boss who had never touched a man in her life. With such a perfect husband, she would not waste the chance. Yet the thug's partners appeared. Her husband tried to defend her, but she knocked him out with one strike, though she was reluctant. Everyone was stunned by her move. They were even more stunned when she turned into a high heel killer. She used those fierce heels like unstoppable weapons. Within moments, several large men were all taken down. She then prepared to do the most important thing after her rebirth. She wanted to finally fall in love with her handsome husband, a man she never touched in her past life. But once she reached home, she found an unwelcome visitor. It was her former fiancé's mother. This woman believed the girl would help her son by giving him her husband's shares, so her attitude toward them was arrogant and domineering. But the girl who once betrayed her husband actually stopped him from signing. She immediately showed them who the real power was. It was the first time anyone had seen a pen used that way. The arrogant second wife was terrified, yet she still relied on the girl's past love for her son and dared to yell. She declared that without the share transfer, the girl would never marry into their family. The girl pulled out the pen and said she did not care. She then announced that neither the second branch nor their dogs would enter again. Even though the second branch could not swallow the humiliation, her pen twirl made him realize his blood might become the next bottle of ink. He had no choice but to leave. The person blocking her and her husband from completing their big moment was finally gone, so she flirtatiously dragged her husband to play a game. Whoever got bitten by the shark would remove one piece of clothing. Her behavior made her husband feel something was off. In the first round he lost. She excitedly told him to take his clothes off. He felt helpless and amused, but still obeyed her lovingly. In the next round she lost, which made her even more excited. She removed her night robe without hesitation. This was nothing like the wife who once resisted touching him. She even told him to forget his past with the scumbag. She promised to treat him as her dear treasure. He was so charmed he accidentally lost again. She pounced like a wolf to help him remove his pants, but someone showed up again to interrupt her important moment. The mother-in-law rushed in and checked on her son. Then she accused the girl of crippling her son for the scumbag. She said the girl angered her own husband into a vegetative state. She demanded to know if the girl would not be satisfied until the man died. The girl suddenly seemed inspired. She ran to the father-in-law